So, coming off a very strange UFC 288 card, which was very disappointing to say the least, despite managing to go 9-3 on that card, we are back with UFC Fight Night in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank God this is in front of a crowd. I absolutely hate the Apex. We've got 13 fights on the slate this time out, and some pretty decent fights on paper. As always, thanks to all the followers on Twitter and those watching these videos, even the bellends. Hit me up on there. Let's dive straight into this. Right, so we've got some eye candy on display here. Get the tissues and moisturizer ready, boys. I was going to pussy out on this one and just pick it to go to a decision, but I don't know what Liboa is doing in the UFC. Looking at her last five, she fought a girl that was 1-4, 0-1, 0-0, 2-1, and 0-0. Fuck that. She should not be in this organization. She did fight Valentina Shevchenko 12 years ago to a decision loss in Muay Thai. Who cares? Jessica has fought some good competition despite the shitty record. I'm going to take her in this one. It's women's MMA. Don't bet on it. This Liboa might be a killer. Take it to go to a decision. Moving on. This one's a pretty nice matchup. Both men are coming off losses, but they both have that dog in them. I was expecting Battle to actually be the slight betting favourite, but Vegas is actually favouring Green. Battle has a really good clinch game. He's pretty good at laying knees up the middle. He does a lot of body work, which I really like. And this caused Green a lot of problems in his last loss to Ian Garry, who's further up the card. He did do pretty well in there though, and it did go to a decision. Green does demonstrate a higher output, but I think I'm going to edge the underdog Battle here for his ability to do well in the clinch and having a decent ability to get the fight to the ground. My pick here though is also for this fight to go the distance. I think both men are going to beat the shit out of each other, and I think it's going to result in a close decision. I'm not going to be betting on a winner here. I'm a bitch. I don't care. Next. Alright, I'm going to take a new and enlightened approach to how I pick women's fights here, seeing as judging skill and doing the coin toss is not really paying off consistently for me these days. So I'm basically going to pick the one I think is hotter. Kim has lost 4 fights in a row, but I'm going to pick her here. A lot of her fights, despite being losses, were close. She had a few split decisions in there. And she did look scrappy and up for a war in most of those fights. She probably knows this is going to be her last chance. If she doesn't win, she's out the door. And I think she's going to pull this one out of her ass. Mandy Bohm is trash as well. So, yeah. I think this is going to be another decision. Shocking, I know. But I'm going to edge Kim. This fight was delayed from a few weeks ago. And I did make a pick on this one. So I'm going to stick to my guns. I do think LEvy is very overrated and has not looked convincing to me at all in any of his UFC fights. Pete Rodriguez does carry a lot of danger and could potentially catch him. He does have some power. The odds are a complete disrespect though. Levy should not be this wide a favourite against anyone. So this is definitely a potential parlay killer. I would stay away from it. I think Levy loses the first after catching a smack, but survives in that round to eke out the next 2 when a pudgy Rodriguez gasses inevitably. Levy is the slightly better wrestler and has yet to be chinned in his career, so I think that will be the story of this one. Next. Alright, again, I think the odds are kind of a joke here, but I'm going to pick Ulberg to win this by KO in the first round. The danger with this guy though is his cardio. In his one loss, he had Nezachukwu badly hurt in the first and totally blew his load trying to get him out of there. Kennedy survived and fucked him up in the second round. Since then though, Ulberg has looked more disciplined and dangerous. They both have a similar opponent recently in Nagemaranu. Ulberg slept him and Poteria got slept by him. I think Poteria is dangerous and a live dog for those who are open to a bit of risk. I do expect Ulberg to be a little bit too good here. If he gets out of the first, be afraid though. Alright, this is another pretty even fight on paper. I'm going to take Stamann though, and I think his wrestling is going to be what gets it done here. Silva does carry a threat on the ground and won't be too afraid of getting dumped down there. But Stamann's very strong, he's pretty defensive in those positions, and I think his cardio is going to hold out here. I think Andrade is actually more varied in his striking. He's got a better kicking game. He mixes it up a bit better. And I think he's going to have more surprises in his ability to mix it up. But he's a little older. He's been in more wars. And I just think Stamann carries enough of a strong out threat to gain his respect. I think he'll do that. I think he'll find a takedown. And then he'll stay safe on the ground and pile away at some damage, getting some points up. Both men are very well experienced, and they both faced really great names in the division. They're kind of middlers at bantamweight, which isn't too shameful. For me, it's the best division in the UFC. Yeah, I'm going to keep this off my ticket as well, but I'm edging Stamann slightly in this one. Alright, I did a breakdown of this one a few weeks ago too. Chase Sherman is shit, and this is a terrible matchup for him. Willams is coming off a really sloppy win against Bursky, who is a bit of a dog in a division that has fuck all in wrestling skill. Willams is decent enough, and he's quite good at setting up nice trips and taking it to the ground, where he kind of lays on you and slobbers all over you. Sherman, on the other hand, has zero game in this department, and he has nothing on the ground. He's so easy to take down for such a big man, which makes this a really horrible matchup. I also think this is going to be just a terrible fight to watch. Sherman also pulled out last time, so that adds another reason to back away from him faster than I was planning to anyway. Willams is going to invade this guy's arsehole in a simulated prison rape to a unanimous decision win. Be sure to get your nut away in the first fight, because this one's going to kill any sexual desire you have left. Alright, this is going to be a war to close the prelims. Two old dogs in there. I've gone back and forth on this constantly, so I'm just going to have to go with how I'm feeling at the present moment. Both men haven't fought in a while. For Matt Brown, it's been over a year. For Court Mcgee, it's been about 9 months, if I remember correctly. What worries me about this is that Mcgee is coming off getting absolutely flatlined against Jeremiah Wells, which is never, it always makes it difficult to pick somebody after that's happened. I'm going to pick him anyway, though, and I'm not very confident in this. Both men are aging, and I think will struggle to finish each other. So I'll be taking another close decision, potentially a split. I have to pick the slightly younger guy here. Good job by the UFC, though, to have this one to close the prelims out. And this should create some buzz going into the main card. Alright, so I'm coming in with a record of 110 and 54, which gives me a 67% win percentage. I'll be back tomorrow to do the main card. There's a few potential nice fights on there. We've got Ian Garry coming back, which is a good one. Smith and Walker will be fun to break down and to watch on Saturday night. And it'll be interesting to see if Almeida can keep it up against tougher competition at heavyweight. Biggie's a big boy. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great Monday. Peace.